Hey folks, if you're here again, we're on. Okay. Sorry about the glare. The quality being a little messy. But good afternoon, folks. This is Levi here once again. Welcome back to another review. I'll be on my revisit review for Spider-Man 2. And yeah, I hope you enjoy that review. And I'm continuing my superhero marathon. I've been reviewing superhero movies the 2000s era, from the 2000s era. Superhero movies that came out from 2000 to 2009. Remember, check out this channel. This is my new channel. Make sure to subscribe to this channel. And thank you guys for the 33 subs. Keep on subscribing and yeah, just keep it up. Let's go and plan a lot more videos ahead. But anyway, for today's review, this is going to be probably my first ever rant on this channel. I hated this movie. This film came out in 2004. Charles Holly Berry. It's directed by Pitful, Pitoff, Piss Off. That's what I'm gonna call him. Pitiful. I'm gonna call him Pitiful because that's what this movie is. It's a pitiful, terrible film. I hated this film. This is one of the worst superhero films ever made, in my opinion. Catwoman. I just watched it for prepare for this review. Well, this film sucks. The documentary about the evolution of the character, many faces of Catwoman, with the actors just talking about the character. That making of that behind the scenes documentary is more interesting to watch than the film itself. Yeah, yeah. This film was just awful. Yeah, I'll get more into that before I get into the rage of it. Let's just start off with this, okay? Get into the production, everything as I do with all my reviews. With Warner Brothers developing Batman Forever, in June 1993, a Catwoman spin-off film was announced, and they considered Michelle Pfeiffer was cast to inspire her role in Batman Returns. Tim Burton became attached as director. Producer Dinesh Nava and writer Daniel Waters also returned. In January 1994, Burton was unsure of his plans to direct Catwoman, or an adaptation of The Fall of the House of Usher. On June 6, 1995, Waters turned his Catwoman to Warner Bros. Same day Batman Forever was released. Burton was still being courted to direct. Waters joked that turning into the day Batman Forever may not have been my best logical move, and that's a celebration of the fun for the whole family Batman. Catwoman was definitely not a fun for the whole family script. In August 1995 interview, Leffer retired her interest in the spin-off, but explained her priorities would be challenged as a mother, commitments to other projects. Yeah, I forgot to mention here in this documentary, you do get interviews from Michelle Pfeiffer, Julie Newmar, Lee Merriweather, Eartha Kitt when she was sadly alive at the time before she passed away. The Andrea Beaumont, I can't say her name right, but she's in the Swamp Thing from 1982. And this is one of the female superhero movies. First one starring a black lead. And don't get me wrong, I love Halle Berry, great actress, beautiful woman. I liked her in the first two X-Men movies. I even like her in X-Men Last Stand. I'd rather watch X-Men Last Stand over this. Despite that, I think that film was a disappointment. It's still more watchable than this. I'd rather watch that than this. And at least Holly, is not giving an embarrassing performance, you know, like she does in this film. Yeah, the film it was in development hell for years with Ashley Judd as the lead in 2001, but she eventually dropped out. So Nicole Kidman was considered. Nicole Kidman also played Dr. Chase Meridian in Batman Forever. Batman Forever is a better movie, by the way, including Batman Returns. Say what you will about Batman Returns, it's a better film than this. And she would also go play Aquaman's mother in Aquaman 2018 and the sequel Aquaman Lost Kingdom that came out last year. They canceled the Batman vs Superman movie 2004. The studio decided to quickly produce Catwoman as a replacement for Halle Berry. So this film, it felt like it was rushed. They said, okay, well, we don't want a Batman Superman movie. And you had Spider-Man 2 that was coming out, and superhero films, including even Hellboy and some of the 2003 films, superhero films that I reviewed on this channel and my other channel. One of those in the 2000s, a lot of them were doing well at the box office. So of course, studios are probably thinking, oh my gosh, you know, this is when superhero films are coming to their own. So some of them, you could say, even the 2000s were rushed, and that's the problem, rushing a film just to make it. Because Spider-Man 2 came out the same year, made more money, and Spider-Man was successful at the box office. You know, they probably said, oh yeah, these movies are making some more money. We're going to be starting, jump right into it. Warner Brothers made the film should be separate from the Batman universe, and not have the character mentioned. Barry chose to be involved with the film after the cancellation of Jinx, a James Bond spin-off featuring her character Die Another Day. I like Die Another Day. It's goofy and over the top. It is silly, but it's fun. More fun to watch than this. Josh Lewis was considered the role of Tom Lone. Josh Lewis was in. He played Talbot in the whole 2003, another terrible superhero film. The cat suit was, yeah, look at the design for this cat suit. Award winning costume designer Angus Strait, together with Barry director Pitiful, and producers Dee Nava and McDonald, they explained that they wanted a reality-based wardrobe to show the progression from patience to the sensual awakening of a sexy warrior goddess. Okay. You made it look like a stripper with Mickey Mouse ears. Yeah, that mask is silly. I'm like, yeah, and Holly Berry does look beautiful. But I'm sorry. You want a good Catwoman suit? Julian Newmar, Lee Merriweather, Eartha Kitt. Eartha Kitt was better. And even had the perfect voice for Catwoman. Yeah, her suit was better. And that was in the 60s. Say what you will about the 60s show, campy and all. They did Catwoman justice. In Batman Returns, they did too. Catwoman, her suit looks much better. Like, it should not be that freaking hard to do. Yeah, court in the training, Barry stated intensive fitness training with Harold Fisk in June 2003. Anna Fletcher instructed Barry in cat-like movement and the presumed material art style capoeira. Barry was trained to crack a whip by Coach Alex Green. Now, I will admit Barry does good with the whip and the cat movements in the film. But Angus Street, let's see. Sorry. Well, the other movie we worked on was The Age of Adeline. I think that starred. I didn't see that. I don't want to see that movie. That stars Blake Lively. Yeah, not much work. So you probably get a designer who didn't know what they were doing. The film started shooting. Prince photography began filming in late September 2003. Shooting took place on the 4th Street in downtown Los Angeles, California, and Winterberg Municipal at Lionsgate Film Studios, and at Warner Brothers Burbank Studios, 4000 Warner Brothers Burbank, California. Most of the cast in the film came from Animal Films, California filming. Finished on March 2004. Pitiful said reshoots had to happen as late as June 2004, 1 month before release. After working could yielding confusion and complete dialogue sequences and awkward visual transitions, new scenes were added, including a fresh ending that shifted Patient's relationship from Tom from a romantic comedy style, as Pitiful called it, a darker opening and closer. Okay, whatever. Holly Berry at the premiere for Catwoman. The film was given an IMAX release, and I feel sorry for the people who had to go see this in theaters. Catwoman grossed $40.2 million at the time when it opened up. It became a box office flop. Yeah, it did flop. Because you have better movies. The Born Supreme, I'm not big on that movie. I'm not really a huge fan. But I would say that movie is slightly better. iRobot is much better than this. So much better. Under the iRobot with Will Smith is underrated. The film was panned by critics. Gets an 8% on Rotten. Holly Berry is a lone bright spot, but even she can't save this level of action thriller. Roger Ebert most the film, got on Roger Ebert's most hated films as well. Yes, in the words of Roger Ebert, I hated this movie. He criticized the filmmakers for giving little thought to providing very strong character story. I agree. Supporting characters, action sequences. I agree. But it really criticized the film for failing to give the audience a sense of what her character experienced as she was transformed into Catwoman. He'd rather for her being a movie about Holly Berry's beauty, sex appeal, figure, eye, lips, costume design. He gets those rights. They gave the film thumbs down, which I agree with that. The 20th anniversary of Catwoman described the film as a superhero cult classic that has become a sleeper hit. I disagree. The film's director Pitbull says Catwoman was ahead of its time. No, it's way out of its time. It's still a terrible film today, and people were not ready for that kind of movie. That's because you didn't do it right, Pitbull. You were the wrong director. You know, give the film starring the first African American woman. And it doesn't matter. I love Flavor. She's a great actress. I loved her in the Flintstones. I liked her in the X Men movies. Yeah, she doesn't have much to do in the first two movies, but she did a little more in X Men 2 and X Men 3. But she's still good in those movies and better dialogue. I prefer her more Storm. No, I like her white hair. That's much better. I'd rather see her a Storm. You know, better character. Because if you're trying to appeal to black audiences, black female lead, okay, we've had a few female lead films before this that I reviewed. You had Supergirl in 1984, which I don't mind. Not that bad of a movie. Supergirl's better than this. Um, in the 90s, you had Tank Girl with Laura Petty, which, it was bizarre. It's a bizarre, weird movie, but I like it for how crazy it can be. And somewhat I have fun with it, especially Laura Petty. She was fun to watch in that movie. Yeah, Malcolm McDowell, like, he was having fun. He's a better villain than Sharon Stone. And in Black Scorpion, that was fun too. Brad Taker was a good villain, I thought. Underrated movie. And Joan Savannah, I can't say her name right. She was sexy in the suits, much better looking. Maybe he should have watched Black Scorpion, the director, learn how to make a woman actually look good on screen. Yeah. All women of color can be beautiful. Yeah. I love all women of color. Mm. But back then, the comic book fans hated the movie because the film didn't involve Batman. So I can't remember being paid by critics who said it sucked balls. Barry says she loves the film, loves working on it, and is happy that it gained new film early from a new generation. Which honestly, I don't know why. Even though Holly Berry arrived at the ceremony to accept her Razzie Award in person while carrying her best Oscar. This is on YouTube probably. You can find it. She made fun of herself. She said, "This is a god awful movie clip. It was just what my career needed." She even goes like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah," cheering. So they explained to the studio, I knew what I was going to do to the Razzies. I told them I wanted to take the piss out of it and laugh at it. Don't think god awful film. But at the Razzies, so I had to do that. I shit because they shit on it. I wrote within an inch of my life. I put a lot of thought into how I could do in the fun. Let everybody know I didn't take it way too seriously. You can never take my Oscars, no matter how bad you bash me. If I earned it, I'll take this too. Yeah. The director deserved that Razzie Award. This film deserved every Razzie Award it got. I love Holly Berry, but you shouldn't have done this movie. Shame on you. And it gets newfound praise. I'm like, 20 years later, this film still sucks. I don't care about New Generation. That doesn't mean nothing to me. But for their marketing for the movie did have a video game. Yeah. The game is a third-person action platformer where you play as Catwoman. You must be used the heroine's cat-like strength and agility to travel through environments and defeat various enemies. There's also exploration in the game similar to the Tomb Raider series. Catwoman can climb up walls, swing from metal poles to navigate through the. Catwoman must also puzzle at certain parts of the game to advance further. The game also features a combat system for one fighting enemies. You could upgrade moves and perform single moves. And the game followed the story of the movie. So yeah, but I've never played the game. I think I've seen it on PS2 before though. Never really thought of buying it. But for the cast, you have Halle Berry as Patient Phillips, Catwoman. I said Halle Berry. She has done superhero films before this. She was in, well, the X Men trilogy, including X Men Days of Future Past. She was in Boomerang with Eddie Murphy, The Flintstones. Funny, her character was named Sharon Stone in that movie. Swordfish, Die Another Day. Wasn't a fan of Swordfish, but I like Die Another Day. I think she did this movie called Monster Ball after this. She was in Kingsman: The Golden Circle, John Wick 3, Propel 'em. Yeah, she was in a movie called Kidnap, which is a very underrated movie in my opinion. That movie got hated by critics. I don't get why. Yeah. And she was in a movie called Dark Tide, I think. Shark movie. Yeah. Movie 43. Oh gosh, never want to watch that movie. Sharon Stone, I basically just, you remember her from Basic Instinct, Total Recall. She was better in Total Recall than she was in here. She was in an episode of Magnum PI. She was in Above the Law with Steven Seagal, just to name a few. Benjamin Bratt plays in the movie. Benjamin Bratt, I think I just remember him in the. He was in The River Wild with Meryl Streep and Kevin Bacon. And Demolition Man, he was in that too with Sandra Bullock. In Clear and Present Danger, starring Harrison Ford. He was also in Miss Analogy with Sandra Bullock. And him and Sandra have better chemistry. I like it when he works with Sandra Bullock, though. He worked with her again in Miss Jelly, And then this movie right here, he was in, and I thought they had better chemistry in that movie. Yeah. Lambert Wilson as George Hurd. He was in the Matrix film series. Frances Conroy as Olivia Powers. She's part in a lot of movies, but not, you know. Alex Burstyn as Sally. She voices Lois Griffin in Family Guy. She was in Kicking and Screaming with Will Ferrell and Ted. Michael Massey as Armando. He was in the Amazing Spider-Man film from 2012 and the sequel. Oh wow, he passed away. Stomach cancer. Wow, didn't know that. He was in One Fine Day from 1996. He was in Ultimate Avengers 2. He voiced Bruce Banner in that. Was he in the first movie? I didn't say. Just he was in Ultimate Avengers 1 too. He voiced Bruce Banner. Better animated movies than well, this movie's live action, but those animated movies are definitely a lot better than this movie. He was an underdog. And that's not a good movie either. He was in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Say what you will about those movies, I think this ones are better. Brian Mann as Wesley. Kim Smith, Peter Wingfield is in it. Missy Herman appears as a critter, as a fabric computer image. You have a photograph of Michelle Pfeiffer in the movie. Yeah, which I'll get more than that later. But the story of the Catwoman in this movie. Hold on. Let me take you through the plot synopsis. Oh, wait a minute. The film is directed by Pitiful. And guess what? This guy is a French visual effects supervisor. So he's directed this in a movie called Beck. I can't even say the name of it. But that movie apparently didn't do well either. Yeah. He was a producer on some movies. He visual effects for Alien Resurrection, which I heard that wasn't a good movie. Yeah. The movie's written by three people. That is John Brento and Michael Ferris. Screenwriting duo. They wrote movies like Terminator 3: Rise of the Machines, Terminator Salvation. I didn't care for Terminator 3: Rise of the Machines. I mean, the other movies like Dark Fate, Genesis are worse, I'm sure. But wasn't a big fan of Rise of the Machines. Salvation is a decent time waster, in my opinion. But you have writers who, these two writers are not, I can't say they're terrible, but from the other two movies I've seen, yeah, they're not the greatest writers in the world. The guy who wrote Transformers, like that was a masterpiece. Directed by Michael Bay. Yeah. Story about Thursa Belek. Can't say these folks' names right, sorry. Produced by Dana Ninichevich, who also was a producer on films like Batman Returns, Edward Scissorhands, Murder with Tim Burton, Nightmare Before Christmas, James and the Giant Peach. Better movies than this. Cinematography is by Liberty Oberst. And this person who did the cinematography for films like The Fifth Element with Bruce Willis, which is a very beautiful movie. Kind of reminds me of Blade Runner, a beautiful looking movie. And the way the cinematography in this movie, I'll get more into that later. Oh, yeah. Edited by Sylvia LaBranche. Music is by Carlos Ballard. Okay, this that was I hated this music score for this film. Any movies that I like, he scored. Pirates of the Caribbean, First Black Pearl, that had a good score. Constantine. I think I remember that's definitely an underrated movie with Keanu Reeves, in my opinion. 16 blocks that had better cinematography. The TMT, the CGI turns bad, not bad at all. Good cinematography in that animation in that movie. Oh, I mean music score. Yeah, TMT. The music score was not that memorable. Film companies with Village Roadshow Pictures, Company Pictures, Fantasy, Frenetic Films, Mabel Shade Films, Catwoman Films, distributed by Warner Brothers Pictures, released July 19, 2004 in Los Angeles, and in the United States it was released worldwide in July 23rd of 2004. It's 104 minutes long, about 1 hour and 44 minutes long. The budget to make the movie was $100 million, and the box office made $82.4 million. So it flopped. Yeah, did not surpass his budget. Yeah, I can see why. Yeah. No, I say it says perform poorly, but I say perform terribly. You know. But anyway, the story of Catwoman is that the plot synopsis is that the story tells the story. The film is a story about Peyton Phillips, who is a meat graphic designer who she wants to be an artist. She's a very shy woman, very nervous. She lets people push her around. She can't really stand up for herself. She's just, stressed out, just stressed out all the time. You know, she discovers a conspiracy with the cosmetics company she works for that involves a dangerous product that could cause widespread health problems. After being discovered and murdered by the conspirators, led by Sharon Stone, she's a villain. Spoilers, she's a villainess. Patience is retrieved by an Egyptian meow cat that grants her superhuman cat-like abilities, allowing her to become the crime-fighting superhero Catwoman, and also becoming Catwoman. She, she gets to be free, gets more of an updated attitude, change of behavior. Now, Catwoman is a character I describe as both good and bad. She's good, but she is a thief. Now, she gets out of the bad guys, but at the end of the day, she would rob or steal, you know, commit crimes, of course. And Catwoman, I wouldn't say is a killer, but she will kill though. If you cross Catwoman, that's the difference between her and Batman. That's the conflict between them. Batman doesn't kill, but Catwoman, care what you say. If you betray her, or mess with her, she probably will kill you. Yeah, she's an anti-hero. Yeah, yes. But anyway, so Patience as Catwoman, she must find out who the people murdered her and why, and she's got to take on Sharon Stone and stop her and basically just save the day. Ha ha. Plot in a nutshell for you. But I'll give you my. I'll talk about the movie itself. Hmm. Yeah. All right, so let's get into Catwoman, 2004, starring Halle Berry. Here we go. So the film opens up with a bit of weird music. Again, I'm not a fan of the music score. Dun, 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 tries to add some little bit side of a woman's voice to the soundtrack. Didn't care for this music. Say what you, Batman Returns, it gave a better theme for Catwoman. Well, her name is not Selena Kyle, it's Patient Phillips. I probably missed that before, but Catwoman's name is Selena Kyle. That's the character's name. Now, Halle Berry is not the worst actress to play Catwoman. That for me, that's Anne Hathaway because I can't stand Anne Hathaway. I hate Dark Knight Rises too. That film sucks too, in my opinion. It's boring. And this movie is, you know, they're on par with each other, in my opinion. Because I hate both movies for different reasons. But anyway, so her name's not Selena Kyle. And so there is no Batman here. I'm like, you could have had Batman. They mentioned they should have gone with Selena Kyle. Could have had her be Catwoman. Instead, we get the opening of the opening credits. Now, if you watch this movie back in 2004, you'd probably be confused by the credits, and you would see like Egyptian days for BC, before Christ, of in Egypt, of cats being worshipped and cats being another Catwoman from ancient ago. So there's Catwoman in ancient history. All these are the Catwoman. This doesn't make any sense. You know, this story doesn't make any sense. Then we get a narration. We see Phillips like drowning in the water, her body, and saying, "Because the day I died, it's the day I actually lived." But before that, we see her opens up with her being shy, working for this cosmetics company, and Sharon Stone. whatever her character name was. You know, she's you know she's been the beauty of the company. It's like a they sell the beauty inner stuff or whatever. Because that's how much I don't care for the story. See, I barely just confused. That's what this movie is. The story is just so lame and confusing and boring to watch. I just don't care. But this cosmetic beauty, it makes her stronger. But she's been the face of the company for years. But she turns 40, so her husband shows her way. Like we're gonna have a new face. He embarrasses George, her husband, and they're that George might be having affairs, and Patience get yelled at by her boss George, and she says, "Well, can I do it better?" You know, and he's like, "Okay, we have till midnight." And you see Patience like sleep. Yeah, her friend, I forgot to mention, the woman that voices Lois Griffin Family Guy. She'll her dialogue is basically sexual comments all the time. You know, you can have that man sandwich or something like that. But Patient, you see her, she's sleeping at night. These people it's like like almost 3:57 at night time, and these people are playing loud music. And she's saying, "Can you turn the music down?" But they're just ignoring her. She sees the cat, that Egyptian cat, which is named Midnight, is staring at her, and she goes back to sleep. She sees Midnight in the morning. She's working on her project, doing her job. She tries to go out to the window and catch it. Benjamin Bratt, who's a cop, shows up, thinks that she's trying to commit suicide. She's like, "No, I'm just trying to save the cat." Okay, well, cat, okay. Is that what you get the bet? You don't have to kill yourself. We can talk through this for. He's like, "Well, before you're on 327, or what she says," and he must there for. She must like live in 2 or 3 flights upstairs, and she nearly falls and catches her. I swear, Tom Lone transported himself, something like that. He must be the Flash or something because he got there like really quick, like 2 flights of stairs. Like he's on a bit of stairs there, and he gets so fast. I'm like, "Geez, did he teleport all the way up there?" So he catches her. People are like, "What's happened?" She's like, "I'm gonna rush to get to work. I'm gonna rush to get to work." She drops her wallet, whatever. I mean, Tom comes to work, and one of her work guys is probably gay. Probably says, "Oh, his man sandwich, 12 o'clock." You know, and he meets Lois Griffin, her friend Betty, whatever the heck her name is, saying, "Tom, no, rubs the tongue, rubs the bone." You know, yeah. And he talks to the patients, asks her for a coffee date, and she's like, "You make sure she gets there." To talk to Lois Griffin, Lois, and she's like, "Oh, you'll arrest me." Awful dialogue from her. And again, these two, the chemistry is just not there. Like in Batman Returns, it was there, but here it's not. Yeah. But and then the night she delivers her new design to her boss, but he's not there. She's like, "Well, I need this now." And then they said that she can't do it. She's been working all night on this. She has to go to her building where her boss is at. And it's actually Sharon Stone. And they're talking about this inner cosmetic cream or whatever that she uses. It gives her super strength. Because you see, like that one of the days that Sharon Stone sees her, sees the new look and is that jealousy look. She sees her husband with a new model, with a new woman they're using, and she breaks a glass with her hand and doesn't even bleed. You know, it makes human skin look younger and prettier. If it's the part that's not used over a long period of time, the skin begins to decay, and she tries to say hello, hello. Front door's unlocked, locked. Patient goes to the other side of the building, goes in. She's over here them talking about it happened, and like, hey, they tried to catch her, and they're like, they see patients at the sheriff's like, "Man, we're not gonna help you. We just need to talk to you." Okay, she's like, "I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to." One guy shoots at her. She's like, "What are you doing?" Yeah, well, that was pretty stupid, patients, especially people who are after you. And the guy runs more. And the editing is terrible. This film, when she's running, it's like 3 or 5 edit shots going like really fast. The editing is so quick and choppy. It's like, I'm sorry, it feels like this film has shaky cam, and the nighttime scenes for the cinematography is ugly. You know, it's like everything you look at in the city is CGI. Terrible. At least Batman Returns, it looked practical. The miniature effects of the city, the imagery looked very beautiful. And here it's just hideous. But anyway, she goes in these pipes, like flood the pipes, and she dies. And how she becomes Catwoman stupid. Yeah, you could say it's ridiculous in Batman Returns how Selina becomes Catwoman because the cat bites her. Yeah, that's weird, but this is even weirder because these cats surround her. Midnight goes and have her in the CGI face. Catwoman, Midnight's like meow, meow, just blows in her face. And all of a sudden she gets up, wakes up with cat eyes. She can see a CGI skull. I mean CGI seagull and a spider. And she runs by. I think there's some deleted scenes in here. Well, yeah, additional scenes if you want of her hissing at some dog. Well, some dogs are chasing her. She ends up in this junkyard. She gets away, hisses at them. Yeah, and she jumps to her apartment, looks at her face, and punches the window, and sleeps on top of the roof. Well, she's got like something on top there. She sleeps on it, and her friend calls her. Where you at, patience? Uh, Tom calls her. She misses the dinner date with him, coffee date with him. Yeah, the cat saves her. Yeah, well, anyway, she sees Patience sees Midnight, takes Midnight to Olivia Powers, and this woman is just kind of crazy. Like, there's, the cat tried to save you, you know, gave her some. She throws catnip at her, and like there's weird. And there's even scenes of her like hissing at dogs. Grown woman doing this is embarrassing, and she's at dogs, or where she's walking, she don't know, or she talks to her boss the next day, she's sleeping. He's like, hey, Phillips, are you listening to what I'm saying? Uh-uh. Uh-uh. He's like, okay, I'm sorry. Let me remix it. I'm sorry. I had a run with a grateful bastard like you for something years. He's like, Philip, you're fired. Clear your desk. You're fired. He's like, Mr. Burris, I didn't mean that. You know. Then her friend passes out. Lois passes out or whatever, and she flirts with the doctor a bit. Just always sexual dialogue from her. And she goes to visit Tom, and he's playing a basketball game with kids. But he's a good guy because he's a cop and he's talking to kids, giving them a speech. They play basketball, which is a stupid thing. She's doing all these jumps. Yeah, and he's checking out Holly Berry, and she makes the basket. That was a stupid basketball scene. Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's talk basketball. Basketball a little bit. Patience gets annoyed by hearing the neighbors playing that loud music, so it irritates her enough that she's like, turn that music down. They know her. She goes knock on the door. He's like, no, go get a life, you freak. And so she breaks down the door. Like, let me do it for you. Whips it. Yeah. And basically, she puts on the Catwoman. So this is her first suit she puts on. She's got, the scene where she's driving the motorcycle. It's terribly edited, and because she wants to go steal this necklace, and she sees the three guys and the bad guys in there, and she's like, "That's a perfect idea." She fights them, kicks some of them around, and she's jumping around like a cat. And it's terrible CGI. Fight scenes are horribly edited, shaky cam, but she knocks them out. Steals the loot, tries to put, I think she puts cupcakes at the crime scene and sorry. And again, she says a sorry to Emily, which Tom Moe does a bit two and two together. So he's a dumb cop. Benjamin Brat is because the same writing is the same writing. And the Patients really did that with cupcakes. and the sorry and turning the stuff in. I'm like, okay, yeah, the dumbest thief ever, which Catwoman would not really do. Catwoman was steal it and keep it, not give it back. That's just not the character. That's why they got another part of it got wrong. Catwoman takes the loot unless she gives it back, unless it's for the right reason. This was just a stupid reason. So she changes her hair, and her hair looks like this. First movie, she went out of the hair, and then she cuts it. You know, the bad music pops up, and she wears that Catwoman suit. Fights the bad guys with these crooks, knocks them down. She goes back to the woman in Olivia Powers, who she needs to talk to. She tries to look up things about cats and stuff. You know, and she learns about the the ancient history of Catwoman. Olivia Powers tells her about it, and she says that you died. She's like, "No, you're crazy. I'm not here." I was like, "Midnight chose you because you risked her life for her for Midnight. She chose you. She gave her the gift." She's like, "You were worth it." She approaches her. She's like, "You're not the only one, child. There's plenty of other Catwoman, and among those pictures are Michelle Pfeiffer." When Olivia Powers comes down, starts like, "Child, you could be a true Catwoman." And then she's like, realized, "Well, Midnight, thank you for the gift, and I gotta find out who murdered me and why." And then you see her put on the suit for the first time. Mickey Mouse ears. Yeah, okay, how do I look sexy in the suit? Not the mask though. I don't like. Anyway, she goes to this nightclub with one of the bad guys who the guy that shot at her. As Catwoman, she drinks some milk at the bar. You know, she just dance with a whip, and she has like she's almost seduced the guy. She knocks him out. She questions him about it, and she's like, "Telling me, you know." Eventually, it leads her to Laurel, Sharon Stone, who they have a bit of a fight. Well, Catwoman goes to this facility where the product might be. She finds this employee dead. The man that was discussing it is apparently dead. They say, and then they're saying Catwoman as a murderer. She goes sees her friend Sally. I think the name is, the character's name is. And she's like, "Don't take no more cream. It's affecting you real bad, giving you all these headaches." She's like, "Trust me." She goes on a date with Tom Malone. They go to a fair, and it turns off. And she does one cool thing. Like she saves a kid, which okay, I kind of like when she saved the kid. You know, but when she goes back out that night, she goes to George's house, her ex boss's house, and Laura tells her that he's been doing criminal activity. She goes to this opera, the opera where he's at, with the one that he's I guess been having an affair with, the model he's been cheating on his wife with. She walks away. Catwoman was like, "Let me know." She cuts him. He's like, why'd you murder patient Phillips?" He's like, "I didn't murder patient. I didn't do this. Like, this is your last lie." And the police show up. Catwoman has a floaty fight with Benjamin Bratt. Cora edited. I'm like, I just didn't care about any of this. And Catwoman being sexual with him, and then get away from the cops. You know, she floats them. She's like, "Can any?" She goes like to Charsan. You know, that Benjamin Bratt's like, "I know there were sparks between us." Yeah. And she's like, "Can any boy see in the dark?" I can. She puts the electricity out. Gets away from the police. Catwoman, well, both of them have a dinner date. Talk about Catwoman flirting. And she thinks she's like, really fast and just humiliating and looking at Cat and looking at she wants to eat the fish in the tank or get scared of rain because cats don't like rain. And they share a kiss. They sleep together. He sees like one of her you know Catwoman clothes and gets a cup that she's drunk out of a classic takes it for evidence, puts it on that evil sorry button and everything, and it all matches up to her knowing that she's Catwoman. And then he just wakes up. Tom just says something came up, left her a note that he left, and she gets a call from Sharon Stone. Sharon Stone that she says she's got something for her. So and she reveals to her that she killed her husband, and she gets Catwoman throws a gun at Catwoman, pointing toward the evidence and like Catwoman murdered my husband. She went away. Yeah, changes her suit back out of her suit real quick. Goes home, and she's like, Tom's got a gun and saying, "You're under arrest. You take this from patients, can you? I could if I wanted to. Why don't you?" And then he arrests her. He questions her. She's crying. He's like, "I'm the woman that you were with last night. How could you do this to me?" He's like, "Because you murdered. The evidence, everything points to you. You're guilty here of murder. Two people." And then, after framing Catwoman, well, sorry, patients, this guy throws on the throws in the throws on the brick or the jail cells like, "Now you be a good kid." And she's like, "Shh." I laughed at that part, kind of comment. I was like, but midnight comes to visit. She is able to slip out of there. She steals a guy's car and to go get even, I guess, and stop Laurel. But Laurel Sharon Stone only is released to the public the following day and owning her husband's company. Tom comes over because he searches for more evidence. Being the great cop he is, Princess ever find out that she's the murderer. And he's like, I think you gave me what I want, Laurel. You tell me you the murderer. That you're the murderer. And she knocks him down. Well, kind of like shoots at him right in the shoulder. He's like, "You're gonna murder a cop, Laurel?" I was like, this. "Oh, I've already murdered before. I'll get away with it for somehow." And Catwoman uses the whip, and they run out. He's like, "Patience, come on, that's you under that mask." Like, I don't know who you're talking about. I'm like, okay, she's playing with him, or she's got a Catwoman persona took over. And there's one cool part where she takes the guy out again. She knocks him out, kicks him. Catwoman was able to distract the trucks from going by breaking them with the chain or driving a truck. But meanwhile, she goes to Sharon Stone, and they have a fight. Like, you know, who are you, and what are you, a killer, a murderer? What are you? It's like, it's like Catwoman or something like that. Where she's, because you killed me. Is that patient Phyllis in there? Yes. And they have a big fight, and the fight was just lame. Sharon is laughable because Sharon Stone is not a fighter in a movie. She's not a martial artist in real life. I'm sure, probably not. I don't know. But their fight is lame. you know, Catwoman kicks her butt a little bit. It's just horribly edited. It's not shaky cam. It's just the editing is terrible in my opinion. The editing is very fast and quick. Hardly see it, and it's nighttime, so you hardly see what's going on. She Holly Berry passes her out. She hits this glass. Sharon Stone is knocked out. Sharon Stone picks up the glass and stabs her, and she's like, "Yeah." Mm-hmm. Like, ah! There's that yell, and her and Catwoman fight, and she's about to kill Catwoman. Catwoman gets back up, though, fights her more, and scratches her. You hear the crappy soundtrack, dun, 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 theme going on. She's like scratching her in the face, and she's trying to save her from the pipe. Is like, looks at her face, and it's too late. Laura tries to grab on the Catwoman hand, but she slips, falls, and dies to her death. And you see shot of her, her face, and lifting up as her body. She's dead. Catwoman was like, I'm not a good guy, but I'm not a killer. So patient is cleared of any charges against her for the death of, Laura and George and the doctor earlier. But she continues to want with Catwoman to enjoy her freedom. But sometimes I'm good, sometimes I'm bad. She leaves him a Dear John letter, and you have the crappy soundtrack, and then her using a whip it and just walking, walking on top of a rooftop and breaking up Tom for good, and then that's the end of the movie. That's Catwoman. I think there was an alternative ending. I tried to see on DVD of her and Tom being together at the end, kissing, and Ophelia Powers, the lady that was with her, at midnight at the end is walking with her too in the night. But yeah, it was going to be happy ending, but they changed that. I guess because they wanted that darker ending the director did. But anyway, let me give my final thoughts on this movie of why I think it's terrible. First of all, the story is terrible, and Patient Catwoman's name is not Patient Phillips; it's Selena Kyle. And the story doesn't make any sense. You have these ancient history of Catwoman that had Catwoman like in Egypt times or whatever, ancient times, many of them, and that's just stupid. That makes no sense. Catwoman, is a complicated character that she's good and bad, but it shouldn't be hard to do that. You know, she's a shy woman living in a man's world, being bullied and pushed by people, and her life is like a prison all life, and she needs to break out of that free. Yes, I get that. But the problem is, it's just the story. And her being a meat designer, I'm like, you know, that's just lame. The story's lame, boring, and, you know, the suit, yeah, the suit is lame. I mean, she looks sexy and don't get me wrong, but I don't like the mask. It's like Mickey Mouse ears when you think about it. Lame suit. It's like the movie was just, Halle Berry, again, she does good with the whip and the movements and stuff. You know, come on, Michelle Pfeiffer didn't even do that in Batman Returns. Come on. And the movie I thought was boring. I just didn't care for the story. The love story, Holly Berry, her performance, she does good with the movements, makes of the whip, and being a shy woman, but some of her lines of dialogue are just terrible. And it's more like they're just turning her into a stripper instead of Catwoman here. Yeah, it's like she's just a good piece of eye candy you can stare at for the whole film. When she wears the suit. And the action scenes are lame. Okay, first of all, the story is lame because it makes no sense. And the villain's plan. Sharon Stone's plan is to, and this stuff makes her strong, so she can't feel pain. But Catwoman scratches her, so she starts feeling pain. Okay, stupid, but she can't fight. And the fight scene with her and Sharon Stone is laughable. The action scenes are horrible in this movie. If this inner beauty makes her so strong, gives her super strength, I mean, she breaks glass. I mean, she shouldn't be able to feel pain or even punch or scratch. You know, why should it shouldn't she could be like invulnerable, right? So why is she getting her ass into by Catwoman? If she can just fight, I'm like, no, put a stapler on your hand and stuck it, or get a knife and on her hand and you don't feel that pain. I'm like, okay. So this beauty has some magic power. Did she get it from witches or something? This makes no sense. This being supposed to make you strong and last beauty for a lifetime, and then the ancient history of Catwoman, yada yada yada, or Olivia Towers makes no sense. It's just so confusing. I don't understand it. Yeah, and her and Benjamin Bratt, they have no chemistry. I don't see how they meet was stupid. With her, him jumping up, teleporting up to her room real quick, to her apartment that fast. Yeah, and Tom was able to do must have some superpowers himself because he was able to do that and jump off a Ferris wheel real quick to go save people. I'm like, damn, okay. You know, he must be a kin of one of the X Men or something. But their chemistry is lame. You didn't need a love story here. Benjamin Bratt was just here because he's a good guy for a Bruce Wayne Batman. Catwoman's love interest should be, to me, should be Batman. When you have no Bruce Wayne here, no Batman connection at all, because Batman is Catwoman is involved in Batman's world in his universe, and when you take that away, it just makes no sense. If you're gonna give Selena Kyle her own movie, name the character Selena Kyle, give a better story. My suggestion is they should have just had Catwoman explaining her story from Batman Returns and her being a thief and having to maybe deal with some criminals on her own or some villains of her own and having to take them on. She robs them, they set her up for something. Okay, and then Catwoman comes back to get justice and kills them out of revenge. Okay, I can see that happening. That would have been a better movie. At least made sense. You know, the bad guy's trying to not with you know with inner skin beauty. You didn't need that frame and all that stuff. It just didn't make any sense. You needed a better story. I'm getting way ahead of myself. But yeah, Pitfall, dude, see the visual effects, being visual supervisor, because you suck at directing. You can't direct. Thank God he's never directed a movie again. And the screenplay, the writers for this, I mean, I'm sure they can. Yeah, from Terminator 3 and some movies that I never heard of, writing some Terminator films that were not that great. Yeah, you're not really good writers. The story sucks as well. The cinematography is ugly. I hate the look of the movie. I mean, during the day, the movie looks fine. But during night, it's CGI. The cinematography is very ugly and horrible at it. And the editing of the fight scenes, it's like shaky cam or fast and so quick you can't see what's going on. The editing is awful. The music score sucks. I hate the music score for this movie. Even the score sucks. Dun, 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 and then the sound of a woman's voice humming, is annoying. That was annoying too. Yeah. And for the running time, all right. Thankfully, the pacing is fine. The pacing is good, and the film does feel pretty short for 104 minutes long. It goes by at a good pace. That's one thing I'll say about it. The pacing, thank God, goes by fast because I could not just wait for this movie to go. The dialogue is very cringeworthy between her and Benjamin Bratt. Because McCatlin's dialogue, Oliver's dialogue is cringeworthy. Her seeing her hiss at dogs or eat sushi really fast or sniffing catnip or just doing things that are really stupid and over the top and or bad dialogue. Yeah, it's just laughable. And you can tell when she's jumping at night as Catwoman, it's all CGI, and it's just god awful. I don't know why this movie has a fan base. I mean, to each his own, but I think this is probably one of the worst comic films I've ever seen. Can't even remember the last one that I hated. Let's see. Hulk 2003. Yeah. Yeah, those films are one thing. One, they both have, horrible actors. What? No, I'm sorry. Holly Berry is a great actress, but the writing in her was bad. I'm sorry. I'm glad she got a Razzie where she deserved the Razzie, and yeah, this film is a piece of shit. It is. It's terrible. It's boring. It makes no sense. This is just not Catwoman. Yeah, you have a director, and the movie flopped. Yeah, $100 million budget, and it made a 2.4 million. So yeah, if it did box office, if it was a box office bomb, yeah, they wanted to make a sequel, a direct video anime feature, but that didn't work because the film's failure. Of course, thank goodness. And that's quick. Maybe Holly Berry did change her mind on it. Yeah, Pitfall, don't ever direct a movie again. You can't direct a movie. You made an awful movie. It was not ahead of its time. No, that was Tank Girl. Tank Girl was ahead of its time. And Tank Girl was bizarre, but at least it knew what it was. This movie doesn't know what it is. It's trying to be a Catwoman movie, but it's a story that doesn't make sense. It's trying to be a love story. It's trying to be goofy and silly and over the top at times with dialogue. Yeah, and with bad humor thrown in. It's trying to be a love story. It's not really trying to be a Catwoman movie. It's just a Catwoman name movie and name only. Yeah. And Patient Phillips, that's not her name. And I think I remember hearing Halle Berry say she would want to play Catwoman again. But if you do Halle Berry, name the character Selena Kyle. Give me a better story. Yeah. The ancient history crap, take that out. Get a better director, get a better writer to do it justice. You know. And no, I didn't hate this film because it didn't have Batman in it. No, I'm all for a supervillain that's having a movie. Joker, Joaquin Phoenix. That was a great movie. That film was well shot, well made. Joaquin Phoenix gave a great performance. And Joker's a Batman villain too. And Catwoman's a Vanessa here, but she's a Batman villain as well. And they screwed up this movie, but thank God we got Joker in 2019, many decades later, that did a better job of it. Because we get other super villains that have movies like Venom, Morpheus, Madam Web. Those films suck. I don't know how Kraven the Hunter is going to be. I have my doubts about it, though. Trailer looks promising, but I'm not sure. And honestly, I look forward more to Joker 2. Yeah, Joker 2 looks more interesting than this movie. Joker was a better shot movie and well done. Yeah. Todd Phillips needs to direct a Catwoman movie. She needs to get him on board. Or Tim Burton. It'd be so much better. Oh, the new generation, they take it as it is. I'm like, and clearly the new generation, you haven't seen the older Batman stuff then. Or at least one of the comics about her. Halle Berry says she loves the film. I don't know why. But I will admit she does look, and this, especially the mask. Her lips. I like her lips. She has a sexy body. Okay. Yeah. Halle Berry looks sexy. That's the only thing I'll give this film. That's it. Yeah. And if New Generation likes it, I'm sorry, nothing against New Generation, but they probably don't know anything about the characters of Catwoman. Or at least they've never watched the anime series or Batman Returns. Yeah, you need to watch the anime series if you want to know about Catwoman. Or watch the 60s show. She may not have a name, but it's still Catwoman is a crook. But sometimes she can be good, and then sometimes she can be bad. She's just both. And this movie got Catwoman over wrong. There's no such thing as an history of Catwoman. That was just stupid add-in. But anyway, I hate this movie. This is one of the worst superhero films ever made. If you're a fan of the film, more power to you. I will not understand you. I don't understand why you like it. If you like it, that's cool. To each his own. More power to you. If you love this film, kudos to you. But I hate this film. To me, it's a piece of shit. To me, it's one of the worst movies ever made. God, it pisses me off. Oh. Anyway, Catwoman starring Holly Berry. I'm gonna give this film a thumbs down, way down. And my rating for this film, I'm gonna give it 1 out of 5 stars. It's just because Catwoman, Holly Berry, does look sexy. So it's just more about how she looks. That's like the film only care in her movements and the whip. She's good with that, and that's it. And maybe kind of being a shy one at times. Okay, Holly did pretty good at that, I'll admit. But the rest of the film is trash. So still one of the worst movies ever made. I'll never watch this movie again. 20 years later, it's still a piece of trash. Thumbs down. Spider-Man 2 has some CGI in there, of course, but it had better looking effects, better fight scenes. And when you see Spider-Man web swing at night sometimes, it looks a lot better. It looks so much better. Yeah. And that's a better looking comic book movie that feels like a comic book. This does not. It feels like a terrible comic. People who didn't know what they were doing. But anyway, Catwoman, thumbs down. My rating for this film once again is 1 out of 5 stars. 1 out of 5 stars. One of the worst superhero films ever made. Anyway, I got that done. So thanks for watching, guys. Meow. See you guys later. Thanks for watching. And the next review will be actually a revisit review. Maybe today, I don't know. Well, no. Shoot, almost 4:30 already. But I will be doing a revisit review for The Incredibles. I did read this on my other channel if you want to check it out. But the reason is because The Incredibles is superhero, so it does count. Yeah. But I will be doing a revisit review on The Incredibles. So stay tuned for that next. It's a superhero. It's Pixar. It's animated. Disney, whatever. But it's still a superhero film, so it counts for this marathon. So, guys, I'll see you later. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think about Catwoman down below. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Tell me in the comments down below. What do you think of it in your opinion? Thanks for watching, guys. Bye bye. Have a good day. Bye bye.